Indeed, and the next map is going to be Shakir's Plateau. And I wonder if Elfi is going to decide to forget again. I don't think he will. I mean, thinking about the mentality of it, you've done it twice in a row, you're showing this kind of style. He may fake a 4-gate.
Maybe.
That's a possibility. And then behind it, be extremely greedy. Like, he may just go 1-gate fake, 4-gate into robotics facility, possibly. Yeah. We'll have to see. But at the same time, game on.
Game on indeed. I'm looking forward to seeing this matchup between these absolutely fantastic players. We're going to be kicking it off right about now. The countdown has begun.
Yeah, I mean, both of these players have been on the ropes before in PvP, like that great example of against HuK being 0-2 down, coming back 3-2. On the other hand, HuK, he had a PvP on his Code S life.
Yeah.
And he beat Killer 2 times in a row in GSL. And, you know, it doesn't get bigger than that.
Killer was no pushover, let's be honest.
One PvP to go down to Code A or stay in Code S. Both of these players, absolutely incredible.
Yep, that's the kind of pressure you need to be able to withstand in order to fight in top-end PvP, which is what we're seeing right now between the one and only evil genius as HuK. He is in the red trunks playing Protoss to the southeast of the Shakir's Plateau versus his opponent, Team ASUS Elfi. He is in the blue trunks also playing Protoss to the northwest.
And these PvPs are incredible. They're just so aggressive. And, I mean, both of these players are aggressive players. I mean, that's how they play. But from what I can make out of both of these games, HuK seems the better player right now. I mean, he's had better control. I mean, he in Game 1, he won because of control. He defended a 4-gate. In Game 2, he also, you know, beat that Zealot and Stalker. And look at this. And it's at 8, 6... 5, 16.
There we go. Elfi is now just revving it up right here.
Do you know what I'm interested to see? Is on Sunday, the show matches open up with Show versus Elfi. It's this, you know, the game of the slowest.
Yeah, yeah. We could maybe get Goody in there. That might do it. Although I have to say, Goody's APM has been improving quite significantly in terms of going above double figures. I mean, Goody's always known for this really slow and methodical play style, but now he's terrifying. Whatever the case, these guys are screwing around, and you can hardly blame them. It's the start of Protoss v Protoss. It always goes exactly the same way between these two. And unfortunately, typing trash talk does not increase your overall APM value.
Not at all. And we do have, you know, 12 gates once again. If you go for a 13, well, if you go for 11, you're just naturally going to be behind because your opponent's got that one up. And you don't really get the benefits from going 11. Your 4-gate kind of comes out at the same time anyway. If you decide to go 13, it is punishable via 4 gates and so on, because obviously your tech is out a lot later. If you don't decide to defensively 4-gate, your robotics facility, your Twilight Council is going to be slow anyway. So you kind of have to play 12-gate in this matchup, and both players are going in, see the exact same timings. And one difference already is from Elfi. Okay, I was going to say he's not building a Zealot, but he is building a Zealot, and once again, we are basically going to be mirrored up until that Zealot and Stalker actually come out. Yeah,
and then the question surely lies in what does Elfi decide to do? He's used the same strategy twice now. The first time it did not succeed. The second time it did. And while you give credit to Elfi for excellent execution of that strategy, which is certainly the case, HuK is really the one that made the big slip up there. And that's why he was unable to hold it, as you pointed out, with that pylon. I don't think HuK's going to make that same mistake again. So Elfi surely must have that on his mind, thinking, well, okay, where do I go from here?
And we do have HuK getting the second gas, only mining with 2 in it currently. He may decide to pull out. I'm interested to see why he's taking that, or he might just stay in to get that robotics facility once again now. And I feel he is. I mean, yeah, he does.
Exactly
he goes for it once again. On Elfi, on the other hand, is getting a second Stalker, so it looks like he's just going to be kind of faking it out a little bit. He's not going to be 4-gating here, as that third pylon is down inside his base, the second gas is up, but he is also having the probe in the center of the map, and actually, HuK's probe is just in vision range from the Zealot on the Zelnaga tower, so Elfi does see it, pulls his Stalker down, will deny scouting information once again.
Well, yep, he's going to chase that down, and that probe is on borrowed time, unfortunately. It should say its prayers, and if it doesn't have its last will and testament, then it better get it sorted out quickly. Elfi's actually going to leave it alone, a sign of mercy there from the Finnish player.
Yeah, I mean, that's something you don't really want to do, because, I mean, if you decide to be aggressive, you know, that pylon, which we're going to see down, you know, may walk in Zealots that could go into the mineral line, but he knows it's there. I mean, he will keep safeguard and think about it, but look at this, a bit of a fake 4-gate, but that probe's going to be able to go into the base of Elfi, see it is fake, And once again, we are going to have the fake pylon on the lower side of the ramp. This may put HuK under a bit of pressure. He's chrono boosting an Immortal out instead of an Observer. He's using chrono boost on the robotics facility, which he shouldn't really need to do. At the same time, though, HuK is preparing to defend against 4-gate.
Yeah, now HuK does not know that this is not a 4-gate yet. He is unaware of that at this point in time. And Elfi applying just a little bit of pressure here and there, doing a little bit of damage to the mineral line, and not overcommitting.
And here comes the Observer, the probe, sorry, into the base of Elfi, and it is spotted. He knows it's not a 4-gate. He can actually chrono boost the Nexus, as we can see now, get the probes out that he did lose. He did lose a lot there. He lost 5 probes. That's actually a lot. Well, actually, that's 4 because there was one inside the base, but good start for Elfi right here. Yeah,
that's definitely really nice for Elfi. Elfi coming on 26 probes to 19. The Immortal out on the field for HuK that did some damage to those retreating forces. And looks like HuK's going to try and get a little bit aggressive himself. Elfi able to catch a couple of Stalkers out there, but I think Elfi's going to have to retreat. At this point, he's going to lose a Stalker in the middle and needs to retreat immediately. Here's the problem. Elfi's only on 2 gateways right now, and he has no Immortal on the field yet.
Yeah, he's playing that greedy style. You fake a 4-gate and you play greedy. He's basically gone 2-gate Robo and Twilight Cancel all at the same time. Has very minimal units. No Sentry because he's saving his gas. So he couldn't have really deflected an attack if HuK knew what was going on. But like mentioned, HuK has no idea how this guy plays, did not see the Twilight Cancel. And now we do have a little bit of an advantage here for Elfi in terms of his tech. He's getting Blink out, and if Blink finishes before we see HuK do anything detrimental to Elfi's game, he's going to be in great position. Actually, we're seeing HuK expand here, and I think with the Observer that is in the base of HuK, as soon as Elfi spots this, he is going to turn on the heat with Blink.
Yeah, you can hardly blame him as well, because once he gets Blink in there, if his control is good, then even with a slightly smaller force, he can deal with it. Knocking the Immortal out would be perhaps the biggest priority initially. Try and take that out, and then go for the Stalkers. And if you've got good control, then your Stalkers are basically worth double. And we're going to see HuK go for a Robotic Spay right here. Colossus play is on the way. However, there is this big window of timing, I feel, where Elfi could get aggressive.
Oh, most definitely. The key thing here for HuK is he has 2 sentries now, which is at least 2 force fields right now, which are going to be able to force field a lot of this stuff out, though he will be able to blink above them. But if he does blink above the force field, he's going to run into Zealots, going to run into an Immortal, which is not going to be good for Elfi's damage output, really. His stuff's just going to die way too fast. And basically, HuK does not want to build any probes right now. He needs to chrono boost the gateways. He's got an advantage in the Nexus. As long as he holds this attack, HuK will win this game. And Elfi has to beat this down.
Yeah, he's got to do damage right there. He forces the cancel right there, and is probably just going to pull back at this point. I don't see any real need to go in and until he's able to get a bit better forward pylon position and get more units onto the field. He has the Observer. He can blink up there. HuK in a good defensive position. Elfi knows exactly where his opponent is right now. Once again, it will come down to Blink Micro, and there's actually a couple of Zealots from HuK moving in for some harassment on Elfi's base, potentially vulnerable to attack here.
And you know Elfi's very slow. He may not be going back to his base right now, and these 3 Zealots could actually kill the entire probe line. At the same time, he jumps in on HuK.
Oh, yes, and he's able to get through there, and only a single Zealot blocked off by that Sentry. He needs to focus fire on the Colossus. Shield's already down on that. What's his control like? A really aggressive blink right into the middle of the pack right now. Elfi throwing down on HuK's remaining forces. He doesn't really have an awful lot left to hold this with. He's looking for another warping probe pulled off the line right now, and in the meantime, that entire probe line has been absolutely decimated by HuK's 3 Zealots.
Yeah, and it looks like despite Elfi having all these units, HuK has the economy. He can continue to warp in units. Is Elfi's control. This is it. This is his army. He has no probes. He has no economy. This army has to beat HuK.
Yep, and if it doesn't, then that is, as they say, that probes being pulled off the line, and Elfi trying to focus fire on the units that are doing the most damage. There is a little bit of force field placement. However, Elfi is still with a good blink control, a good number of Stalkers available, and this is now turning into a base race. Elfi looking to have the advantage in this regard. We've got another Immortal on the way, another Stalker coming in. That Immortal will die so fast as soon as that pops out. About to get on the field, maybe get 1 or 2 shots up. Immediately surrounded. GG!
Wow.
Well, that's an aggressive base race if I ever saw it, and Elfi turned on the heat at exactly the right time, and this is why we always say Elfi's just got this fantastic PvP style. He's really, really strong.
So the Code S Hope, 2-time MLG champion, DreamHack champion, is on the edge of being knocked out. And this is single elimination, 1 game away. If HuK loses, he is out of the tournament.
Yep.
And, you know, that is going to be classified by a lot of people as an upset. And I'm sure HuK, you know, he's traveled all the way from Korea. He's got a Code S game as soon as he gets back. If he goes out on day 1, he is not going to be happy with this whatsoever. On the other hand, though, Elfi, once again, demonstrating why he has such a high record in PvP, 72%, is not fake. It's real, and it's being displayed right now. Yeah,
anyone that calls PvP a coin toss needs to look at that win ratio, because that defies probability. That, if anything, proves that Elfi's consistency in PvP is almost unmatched in the European scene. So it's scary. It really, really is. And HuK's feeling the burn right now. Well,